and we are rolling. And it's ba ba da ba ba ba. The Vinyl Vandals are back. John's shaking his head, which only means one thing. He's sick of my little theme tune. And I am King Fred, and I'm passing you across to...
I'm John, and today we've got somebody who I'll let him introduce himself now.
Hello, yeah, I'm Tommy Coy. Tom Spencer is my real name, but yeah, I used to work at Mr. Bongo, and I still work in Music and Video Exchange for all my sins. But also, I'm producer under the name Tommy Coy. I've produced with a crew called Beyond There. Produced people like Young Gun Jest, Mr. Complex from New York, and T-Love from California. Loads of people. But I've just started doing admin on Asian B-Boys Unite as well. So I'll say big up to Repo and Waxer as well. So yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Is that enough?
That's more than enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said before, off camera, we will revisit that and we'll have a look at what that all means. Like now we're here. We'll just start with your first choice. Have you picked American or UK? First of all, just tell the people at home.
I'm really sorry to say that I've picked US because
Nothing to be sorry about.
I love UK hip hop, but when it comes to albums, my favourites are pretty much all American.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Have you got a hierarchy of US albums that you picked, or they're all like on the same level to you?
Same level. Yeah.
Okay. So you're just going to pick them as they come, yeah?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Is that how you want me to do it? That good?
Well, no, that's fine. You pick them what they mean to you. That's what we always say. Yeah. We don't want to dictate that. Before we start, how did you find picking the experience of picking 5 of your favourites, your top of your tops?
Yeah, it's a very small number to pick, isn't it? But to be honest, I'm more of a 12-inch person, so like actually when it comes to hip hop albums, even though I've got all those records behind me, most of them are 12 inches or breaks, samples for making beats. So yeah, and I'll tell you what is hard though, trying to not only choose like the really obvious ones, and there's definitely a couple in there, that so many people would have chosen. So that's quite hard.
Okay.
But
what I would say is some albums have been picked a few times over the last so many months, but everybody's had a different take on those same albums, which has been interesting for like me, John and Julie, and Riddler. So yeah, I mean, whatever albums you pick, great. We're not bothered if it's the same albums keep coming up, because actually, everybody has a different take on why they like them, which is the most important bit. Okay, thanks for that. Let's go straight into your first album then.
All right. Well, I mean, because he's recently passed away, I think you know who I'm talking about, don't you? There's the man called MF Doom.
Yeah.
I have to show the back of the cover because the only picture version. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Where is it? That's the trouble with using a fake background, which is actually over there anyway.
Yeah.
It's the back of the instrumental version of Mad Villainy, because I've only got it on promo.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
The real one. So I've got Mad Lib on the front there. Pretending to be me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm actually surprised. It's actually quite a few people's favourite album, or one of their favourite albums. Even though I've been listening to hip hop since 1983, and yet still I waited 21 years later to pick one of my all-time favourite albums. I mean, it's just one of those things. It just seems to work. It's music. It's supposed to entertain you, isn't it? And that album really does entertain you.
Right.
The skits, the beats, and of course MF Doom's incredible lyrics and his delivery. Yeah, it just for some reason it just delves.
Interesting. I'm not really qualified to talk that much about MF Doom because I've never really been into him. It's not that I don't like him. I just he passed me. It's one of these ones that passed me by. I think I got.
I remember you saying this. Yeah.
Yeah. I got some sample albums. I think of Hip Hop Connection or something with Doom on or whatever. I can't remember. I did hear of them. I was like, it's all right. It's not. It hasn't really floated my boat. So I just never. Yeah. It's just one of those groups or artists that I never sort of checked out.
Did you check for KMD when they came out?
I did. Yeah. And it was all right, but I never bought the album or anything by them. I thought they were all right. You know what I mean? I think it was Riddler, or I think it was you, John, that reminded us of them. I forgot about them. And we're like, oh well, do you like KMD? And I was like, well, what about them? And they're like, well, that's Doom before you was Doom. And I was, oh yeah, I remember them. And I've checked them out, obviously recently, more recently since I've started doing these. But again, I don't own anything by them. The only Doom stuff I've got like when he's on other people's albums or is it Son of Yvonne? He's obviously that stuff that he did with
Master Ace.
With Master Ace. Probably the closest I've got to someone like listening to Doom regularly.
That's more his beats, though, isn't it? The Master Race one.
Yeah, it's his beats. It's his beats. Yeah, Master Ace just over his beats. Yeah.
I'd say his own beats. They took me a while to get into them. I remember that Operation Doomsday album came out.
Yeah.
And we sold it at Mr. Bongo, and obviously I grabbed a copy, but I thought, oh yes, this is nice, but I thought, oh, it's a bit messy, but now I absolutely love it. I think it's that thing. I think sometimes if you're a producer and a rapper, you know exactly what when you're making the beat, you kind of know exactly what you're going to do with it. I've dabbled with rapping. Let's not mention that, but I never quite had what it takes to be a rapper. Probably saved everyone by anyway. But what I was going to say now. So.
You want to boss again? The production wise of it.
Yeah, you talk about production.
Yeah, saying about MF Doom's production, it took a bit of a while to understand, because at the time when Doomsday came out, he had some. I knew the 12s before that as well, like Hey and a couple of other things. Like I think I was just really obsessed with really tight beats from the likes of Pete Rock and DJ Premier, and like this guy comes out looping 80s soul records and other old hip hop records, and just making this kind of sloppy thing, but it actually just worked really well.
Yeah, I think also because obviously since he's died, and because the likes of John and Riddler have always went on to me about Doom and that, because during lockdown, all I've been doing, the gyms have been shut, is I've just been going for long walks. With my Beats headphones on and just plowing 2-hour walks and 2.5, 3 hour walks. And I've just said, right, I'm just going to listen to Doom constantly. And the other day I was listening to Doom for 2 hours because I was walking around. And I had Operation Doomsday on, and actually I started getting into it. What I've noticed is when I've started like checking them out and stuff is that I think it was very brave of them to like sort of try and break the mold and be completely different. Be nerdy and be different, because black people and nerdiness doesn't normally go. You know what I mean? And I think he definitely fits into that sort of like, I don't know if you call it nerdiness or just oddball or out there. But I find that quite brave in itself that he did that. You know what I mean?
But it's funny you say that about black people and nerdiness. If you go back to early hip hop, Grandmaster Flash was a nerd. He used to make his own electronics and fiddle about. Solder his mixers together or whatever.
Yeah.
And loads of bit. You look at the lyrics of The Message. Duke Booty, R.I.P. Those lyrics, they were made by young men, using words that I've never heard of. Sacrophilia, broke my sacrophilia. I was like, what? I mean, that was Duke Booty's lyrics. I think he's a bit older. But still,
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favourite track off that album?
We're going.
Which one?
Off that album.
Mad
Villainy. Oh crikey! It's it's really hard one. All caps, I'd say.
Right.
All caps. Okay.
Yeah. Just
I've got to say accordion.
What's yours, John?
Accordion.
Accordion's probably my close second. That's incredible.
Nice one.
But yeah, I mean, Madlib smashed it on the beats as well. I haven't really. The sample choices are just incredible. Yeah.
So, Tom, you're from London, yeah?
I'm from Surrey, Guildford in Surrey originally. I now live in southeast London. So
growing up as a hip hop fan in Surrey, where did you get your influences from? Where did you first hear hip hop? What got you into it?
Well, there's a friend of mine called Jazz John, who's a DJ in Surrey.
Yeah.
Like he's actually mostly a sort of soul DJ, I suppose. He used to play a lot of jazz as well, and he used to buy tapes every week with his using his dinner money, and this is would it be so he got me into disco. This is in the early 80s.
Yeah.
I bought things like Kool and the Gang when they were dodgy, not the cool in the gang, not the funk stuff, you know, but
the pop stuff.
But he had a couple of he bought a couple of like compilations on tape, maybe like Disco Days or something else, and one of them had Rapper's Delight, one of them had The Message, and I just remember, and then he got the Message album by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and when he played me Rapper's Delight, The Message, and Grandmaster Flash and the Wheels of Steel, it's like, wow, I've never heard anything like this. It's just I was just converted from there on in,
right?
And I got obsessed with breakdancing as well, you know.
Okay, yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of people went into during that period, so good fun times. I mean, it kind of like there's Ramesh Ranganathan does that thing, hip hop saved my life.
Yeah,
I kind of look at it like that, and it kind of saved my life, saved me from being a very bored teenager with no focus to like something that I could obsess on and give me a reason to be alive, kind of thing.
Cool. Okay.
Nice. But my hometown, Guildford, was very un-hip hop. Everyone in my school was into the Smiths and Big Country or Simple Minds, and they're just rip. They just make fun out of me. I don't know if you're allowed to swear on this podcast.
Yeah, well, we don't encourage it, but if it slips out,
take the piss out of me for breakdancing and all that. And obviously, it was a massive fad in 1984. And if you're still doing it in 1985, like I was, it was like, why are you still doing that? You're still into that breakdancing stuff. So, young people don't know. They don't understand this. Like, if you tell someone that, like, if you're an 18-year-old or 20-year-old, and people say, "Oh, well, what you do like?" Say, "Oh, I like a bit of hip hop," and they'll go, "Oh, well, cool." Yeah. But back then it was like, "Oh God, that rubbish." Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
interesting one, isn't it? Because it's like a lot of things become a fad for some people, but some people stay with it.
Yeah.
And you lose all the other people; they all disappear.
Yeah.
And then you're left with the hardcore, aren't you? Which
they all became ravers, didn't they?
Became ravers or whatever, like went off and other things. Like some of my friends that I started buying records with, they went off to start listening to pop music and rock music, and there's a big rock scene in Newcastle. People went off and done that. Fine. I don't just listen to hip hop, although majority of my music is. But I think at the time there was loads of people breakdancing, like you said, up and down the country. It came across from America, and everybody was doing it or trying to have a go. But then, go on.
Do you remember Saturday Superstore?
Saturday Superstore, yeah.
What was her name? Sarah Green and all that. They used to do a talent thing every year.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I remember there was one episode where they said, "And please no more break dancers. Like, like, they were so anti-hip hop, though, weren't they? It's like, if everyone wants to break dance, have a break dance competition then, you know.
But I think everybody thought it was going to be like the yo-yo, didn't they? Or the clackers. They were just going to be, or the Rubik's Cube. They were going to be like there for the summer. Then everyone's
going to talk about clackers.
Clackers.
Well, it kind of was like that a bit, though, wasn't it? And then people like Second to None and that kept it going. And Spectre, Junk, and all those guys down in Bournemouth.
They just like everything just disappeared, like, and then there was that with the hardcore who kept with it, you know. Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that B-Boy Mercenaries documentary about Second to None?
No.
So you need to watch that. So I think it's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's really good. Okay. It's about Second to None. How like everyone just in 1986, everyone just stopped, and but we carried on. We thought, well, we love doing this. Why are we stopping? I'm guilty of stopping. I see people doing these amazing things. Like, oh, wish I could do that, you know. But that's life, isn't it? I can still bust a bit of footwork, you know.
Well, good stuff. I never could, so it's all right. I tried it for 5 minutes. Not my cup of tea.
No.
Too busy standing next to a speaker, trying to look cool, you know.
Oh, right, I hope you weren't me mugging. That's the other thing. Hip hop jams. Like I don't know if it's different in America, but because you get quite a lot of Americans watching this, don't you? I don't know.
Some.
Hello, Americans. People that invented this stuff. Like, where was I going with this? Oh, dear me. It's terrible.
All right, then. And on this point, we'll dip into your next record.
Oh, yeah, records. Yeah.
Let's get back to the vinyl.
Well, I'm gonna go. Yeah, 1991. How do I do this?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
Breaking Adams.
Yeah. Wow. 1991. That was a funny period in hip hop because it was just coming out of the 80s. You know, every year it was a different sound. I don't know, you know, 83, 84. Oh, well, let's see. Disco rap, then electro, clunky drum machines, then the Marley Marl kind of sampling James Brown, and then it went a bit jazzy and mellow, and just every year it changed, and that was the same. That was like proper. It's one of the first things with proper tight production, I'd say. You know, it's just the sample choices, and Large Professor is nice on the mic and the boards. Yeah. Is that one of your favourites?
I like it. I've got it. I don't play that much, to be honest. John, you like it, don't you, John?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, it's like you. I love it, but I don't play it as often as I should. I don't think.
Yeah.
But
it's nearly faultless.
Yeah.
To me, the fake organ on Roger does his thing is probably the lowest point, but it's still a good track.
I like it. It's just I don't know. It doesn't hype us, I suppose. It doesn't sort of, and it's not that I dislike it. It's just there's other stuff I like more, so I play more.
You need to put it on +2 and turn it up a bit, and then that's what I used to do at Mr. Bongo. I used to sell a lot more that way.
But I definitely do like it. It is definitely a classic. I would definitely say that. It's just I don't think it would even be in my top 20, to be honest.
Wow.
But it's not to say that it's not to say it's crap though. It's just there's so many other albums that I really, really like.
That's it. It's over.
Would it be in your 20, John?
Ooh, probably. But then again, my top 10, my top 20 change every 10 minutes anyway. So
that's why I said 20.
Yeah. My top 10's got about 50 records in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I always say this, at the time when a lot of this was coming out, I was doing a lot of training, and a lot of music I used to listen to. I wanted faster paced music, do you know what I mean? So a lot of that used to influence what I was to listen to when I go running, when I was in the gym. Do you know what I mean? That type of stuff, you know, like when I was doing shuttle sprints and all of that, they had on my headphones, that kind of stuff that I was listening to had to sort of be along with the beats per minute of that. So a lot of it was a lot of harder, faster stuff, you know what I mean? Like LL Cool J's, like first 2 albums, that kind of stuff I was listening to a lot at the time. And that influenced a lot of the music that I was listening to then. And a lot of this stuff I've listened to more in the last 10 years than I did back when some of this stuff came out, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
What's your favourite track off it?
Yeah.
Favourite track? Probably, wow. Where have I put it? I've just put it back. Silly me. Obviously, Live at the Barbecue is incredible, but yeah, Nas is that his first or second time?
That was his first.
It was first.
The first he was known on anyway, I think.
Yeah.
It was before the MC Search, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that was a bit later. Let's see. I love Just Hanging Out. It's incredible.
Yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that.
Yeah, probably those two. Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, and
we only want one, but we only want one.
Oh. Ooh, probably Just Hanging Out.
Hanging Out. Yeah, I like Hanging Out. That's probably my favourite off there.
As it, Summertime by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince is basically a rip-off. Not a rip-off, a nod to that.
Homage.
If you listen, even his flow on it, he sounds exactly like Large Professor,
Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff, though, what a safe guy, totally top guy. So.
Nice one.
I can't say a bad word about those guys. They're well. I'm happy for their success.
Well, same here. Yeah, I would totally definitely agree with that, and I think that something gets forgotten about when you listen to the first couple of the first stuff. You know, like the He's the Rapper, I'm the DJ album.
That's not his first, is it? But,
I'm saying some of the earlier stuff, though. I mean, as in, before that, I had parents. What's it? Parents don't understand or something. Yeah.
Parents don't understand.
That's the one. Bonus daily. But yeah, very much.
Sorry about that.
What do you call it? Like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, the rap. That kind of rap.
Well, we've been watching that because it's back on iPlayer. So
yeah, I've been watching.
My kids are well into it. Have you?
I've finished it. I went from start to finish all the way through. My wife thinks I'm a sad git, but
That's right.
My dad, bless him, he's 82 and he's been watching all of them. He said he really loved it the first time round as well. So I never knew he was into it. But he says he skips the rap every time. It's kind of relief, but I mean, some of it's quite political, isn't it? Like they come up like
some messages
police,
on there.
Police, bad police, policing, whatever. Racist police and.
Okay, so you've got your friends got you into hip hop.
Yeah.
You're living in Guildford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the same school as Jazz T. He's actually a bit of a legend, although you're not sure who he is. He DJs for Jess and a few other high focus guys, and he won the UK ITF a few years ago. So he's the top hip hop guy out of our town, I'd say.
ITF is
in a record shop.
What is ITF is in Taekwondo, or ITF is in something else?
International Turntablist.
All right, not International Taekwondo Federation then, no.
No.
Just checking.
Is that what you're into?
Well, I have done a bit of it, but my son actually was British champion of it. Like when he was 8 or 9 years old, he went to Scotland and got 2 gold medals in it.
Wow!
I used to just go and stand in my son had said, my dad does some martial arts, and so the guy said, "Do you not want to join in?" Instead of standing there holding his coat waiting for him, so I just started joining in. But I didn't do it properly. But I've dabbled in different stuff over the years. He was he's quite good at it. Well, really good at it.
Well, it must be to win those medals. Wow.
Yeah, with 8, 9 year old. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You still do it?
Nah, he went to university. Found girls and alcohol, and the rest is history. But he's a little swine because he can still do high. Because I got him doing what I do, and he got himself the black belt in that.
Wow.
And the little swine, if you ask him to do a jump and turn and kick now, he can still do it without even stretching or anything. I keep telling them,
one of those annoying people, yeah.
I keep telling them when you get to mid-20s, you'll not be able to do it anymore. But he's 25 in a few weeks' time, and he'll still be able to do it. So it's me wrong. Well, taught them all he knows. So right, yeah. So we've got you to the point now where you're with your friends. He's got you into hip hop. You can't break dance. Yeah. Discovered that. So, when did you start trying to rap or DJ? When did that start?
I never really rapped properly. Just I tried it just because I didn't really know any rappers. But then I met a guy called Prone. Do you know Prone? Prone. No. Andrew Sedman. He's the percussionist in a band called Funk Shown, but he's also on Bad Landlords and Something Tenants on Channel 5. He's one of the guys that goes round for the council, but and he's just got married. He's just got married, so congratulations, Mr. Prone. But he's one of these people.
Get him on here.
Yeah, he'd probably love it. Yeah. But he's one of these people that would go up to anyone and just chat to him. So I don't know if you remember the time where if you wore hip hop gear, people would know that you're into hip hop. Well, it's not the case anymore. And I had a pair of Troop trainers. You remember those?
Yeah.
But that was the time you could only buy them in 4-Star General in Carnaby Street. And big up General George, who I sometimes see at my local supermarket. Yeah, seriously.
Like you do?
Yeah, like you do. So he started chatting to me. So he saw I was into hip hop and started chatting. Asked if I did graffiti, which I don't. I was hopeless at graffiti. But he did. He still does, I think. But yeah, we just started hanging out, and he introduced me to my friend Hugh 72. And then he introduced me to a guy called DJ Cam, he's from my neck of the woods as well. He's from near Woking. Amazing DJ. I don't know if you ever seen him DJ. One of these people that, just amazing on the decks and super tight and good selector, everything, and good electrician. But so I started recording with these two guys, and and MC Murder One, who was a local guy from near Bracknell, and he was our rapper. So we used to go up to my mate Q72 in London, and he had some studio equipment, and we used to use his sampler and stuff. So, and he got me a job. Q72 got a job at Mr. Bongo, and then they eventually ended up getting me working there as well. So
nice one.
Yeah, very thankful to those guys. I don't know, not sure I would have carried on being quite so into hip hop if it wasn't for those guys.
Okay, nice one. Okay, thanks for that little bit of history there. We'll come back to it. Next album, please.
Next album. Well, right. It was a real toss-up between two albums, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You'll be very familiar with these.
Yeah.
Well,
it's behind you anyway. So.
Behind you. Yeah, bring it forward.
There you go.
There, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
And this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he's got two in.
No, you're not cheating. One. Didn't ask for two.
I'm gonna. I decided to go for the Midnight Marauders. So.
Which one you picking? Sorry, because it's
Midnight Marauders.
Midnight Marauders, right? Okay.
Yeah. Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. I kind of like them the same. They're completely different albums.
Yeah.
They're very different, and they're pretty much hip hop perfection. No.
Okay. What's so good about the one you picked and not the other one? The one you've had?
Well, it's just nice samples, just good beats, good. Yeah, like they weren't the best rappers in the world, or aren't the best rappers in the world. but they just knew how to make good music. And sometimes the best rappers in the world just make the worst music in the world. The most boring music. I mean, look at Nas. He's made some fantastic stuff, but he's made some rotters as well. So.
Well, yeah, he doesn't know how to choose a beat. He can rap. He's nice on the mic, but he doesn't got a very good ear.
Yeah, he's chosen some amazing beats, but he's chosen some
thinkers. Yeah,
thinkers. Yeah, but it's a bit like Mad Villainy. You put it all together, and there's proper artistry there, and it's making a proper album rather than just a collection of singles or just a collection. The thing people do is, I've recorded 50 tracks, I've whittled it down to 24. And it's like, why don't you just concentrate on making 10 really good tracks instead, and perfecting your lyrics in it? Right. So,
I totally agree with that. It's what we were talking about the other day, John, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Because everybody feels they've got to do 22 tracks now. That they're all trying to just. Yeah, it's a strange one, but
it's like you have to release everything you ever recorded. Yeah. But
that's what mixtapes are for.
Yeah. I've never really that into that kind of mixtape, so where it's just rappers rapping over things. Where,
but I think that I'm fine with that as long as they just keep to that. But when they try and put that same kind of, because then you also then go and listen to the album, and I always think, well, what's the difference between your mixtape and your album?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No difference, is it?
No, your mixtape to me should be your stuff that you don't really want to release as a body of work. Like, we were talking about this the other day. Albums used to have, because we were talking before about how old we are and that, albums used to be 5 on one side, 5 on another side, or 5 on one side and 4 on another, 3-4 minute songs, and that was it. Then when the CDs come out and they become 22 tracks and stuff, that's what the problem I saw is that there was lots and lots of stuff. Whereas to me, is if you were doing a mixtape, you could put all your sort of like your sort of like your freestyly sort of like like your sort of stuff that you've been working on but isn't good enough for the album. That's what should happen. Yeah, that's what I think should happen.
I agree.
I'm not an artist, so maybe I'm wrong.
Or rapping over stuff you can't clear as well. Whether it be a break or doubling up 2 copies of a break, or playing the instrumental of one of your favorite hip hop tracks, or experimenting, I guess.
John, what do you think of that album?
I like it, but I prefer Low End Theory.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, it's a very divided thing, isn't it?
But, I mean, they're both class, but I still prefer Low End Theory.
What do you like more about Low End?
I don't know. It's just one of my favourite tracks is Jazz. We Got It. And obviously, that's off that album. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. I can't really put next. I think it's probably the album which got me into them properly. So obviously, there was the first one was the People's Instinctive.
Which was okay, wasn't it? Yeah. It had some really amazing moments, but it wasn't. They weren't the finished article, were they? Yeah.
Well, I think that was when they were at the pinnacle. Then it started to slide down a bit because what was the 4th album called?
Beach Rhymes and Life.
Yes, and then it was the Love Movement, and it was like.
I hated that album.
Even
though it was Dilla and that.
The only one I watched the other week, it was the Tribe Called Quest documentary.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's
watched that.
I think it's called Beach Rhymes Life or something. It's
It came out about like 5 years ago, or something, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what I only watched it the other day on Amazon. It was interesting because it was all a bit about Fife arguing a lot with Q-Tip.
Yeah.
With fell out and stuff. Just before Fife died. His battle with sickle cell and that. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody knows I'm not even really a Tribe fan.
Diabetic as well, wasn't he?
Was it diabetes or was it sickle cell?
It was both, wasn't it?
He was the funky diabetic, wasn't he? That's what he called himself.
Diabetic, yeah.
Was it? Yeah, mate.
Sorry, no, yes.
Sickle cell was Prodigy.
Prodigy, sorry,
yeah.
So it was a diabetes, and how he would stay off some of the stuff that he shouldn't have been sort of touching, the sugary substances and that.
I remember him. Yeah, he was talking about how addictive sugar was, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, and just how obviously they told not to take it, so he wanted to take it. Anyway, just I was fascinated because I'm not a fan, so it was just I've not really followed them that much. I can take or leave their music, but actually I was really fascinated by the documentary. I thought it was really, really good. Just an insight into them. I watched that, and I also watched the what's the group called? I'll come back to it anyway.
Do you actually like hip hop?
Do I actually like? Well, it's debatable. I just don't like your type of hip hop. That's it.
I don't think I'm the first person to say this, am I?
No, well, no, it's right. It has been said before. It's a good question. Again, it's not that I dislike them. I've never really been into them, But then I've never been into the whole. I'm just repeating myself. It feels like all the time, but it always feels like I've got to defend myself. But I'm not into all of the. I was never into the what they called the group, the
Native Tongues.
Native Tongues. I was never into all of that Native Tongues.
Oh well.
Although I do have albums by quite a few of them. Like I've got all Dead Souls albums. But I was never really a massive, fan of them, it's not to say I don't like them, because I do like them. I do like that, I've got about 3 of their albums as well, Tribes. I just don't play them that often, Okay.
Oh, the last Tribe album was all right as well. I thought it was absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
The last Tribe album, It's a while ago now. 5
about
years
4 years ago, something?
Oh, 4 years ago, maybe, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
2016, I think, maybe. Oh, it's
Probably,
5 years ago.
So did we ask?
Did
we ask the question, John?
No. What's your favourite track of that album?
Yeah. So crikey. After reading, I'm really bad at remembering titles on.
Same.
It doesn't help that the artworks. It's amazing. It's iconic with the headphones and that, but they've got red writing on sort of grey and black. So I'm struggling to read it. I have to take my glasses off. You go. I mean, I love a War Tour. I've probably heard it a bit too many times. So let's see. Oh, crikey. I'd say Electric Relaxation, actually. I reckon. Yeah. Lyrics to go.
That's what I was going. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Lyrics to go.
Yeah. Okay. Nice one. Next album, please.
Oh. Shall I keep it old? So I'll just to say, two chose this, so I'm not going to choose it.
Go on, can't see it.
Can't see it.
Can't see it.
Why is it doing that? It's because, do you know why? It's because it's got the plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
I can't see it.
Nations of millions, anyway. Yeah, but
you've changed it then. It's not what you've
changed it.
I'm not going to use it. I'm going to do some. I'm going to go.
Right. Which one are you going for?
Diamond D, stunt, blunts, and hip hop.
Okay. Right, now you're
talking. That.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I thought about. You probably like these as well, then, don't you?
Put it down. We're not interested.
Oh God! I can't talk about. I should have chosen that so I could talk about how everything was mispressed.
It's called Favorite 5 for a reason. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Not favorite. I'll squeeze 10 into 5.
Yeah, it wasn't 6 go camping, was it?
So stunt, blunts, and hip hop. Diamond D.
I've got 6 on it.
Why we're going Diamond D? Stunts, blunts, and hip hop.
Yeah, the boy band weren't called 6.
They weren't.
Sorry, I'll shut up. Stunts, blunt. This is so annoying. Technology is amazing. So annoying.
There we go. That's it.
What you need to do is you need to put it where your head is, because that's exactly where your head is. There, yeah. That's it. Exactly right. Yeah. Stunts, blunts, and hip hop. Yep, that's the one.
Original copy, Yeah. All original copies. Apart from, actually, no, I showed you the reissue of Showbiz and AG because it doesn't come. It's double vinyl. But I just remember that time. That's the kind of production I wanted to make. Raw drum breaks, and pretty minimalist, and good rhymes. No, he's not the best rapper in the world, but he knew how to use his voice.
Yeah.
People go on about old hip hop so much better than new. But there's something about the way people used to use their voice. There's a lot more, less inflected by technology and stuff. You know, like I think sometimes when you use mics that are too clean and stuff, it just kind of spoils it. And like, I mean, you listen to stuff like like the first Big Daddy Kane album. The vocals way up in the mix, and but those vocals just cut through everything, didn't they? You know. But
it's funny you should say that. I was listening to a Cool G rap song the other day, and he's rapping. I can't remember who he's rapping with now, but it actually sounds like they're in a cupboard.
Like a modern thing.
No. It sounds
back
like
in the day.
Yeah, it's a back in the day song.
Yeah.
But the recording was like, wow, you can tell it how unpolished it is, but it's mint. I love it. It's just got that kind of like, sort of like recorded in the cupboard at home type of thing, you know, like I can't describe it. It's got like a tinny sound to it. I was just like, to me, it sounds excellent. I was loving it.
Things just don't have to be perfect to be amazing, do they?
No.
Right. It doesn't have to be super clean and super tight. It's just got to.
Yeah.
But I love that album so much. Everything about it, that just the breaks and samples.
Yeah.
It's pretty. A lot of it's just pure break loops, and I love breaks. I love my samples. Trying to think which is a favourite out of that lot. Oh, crikey. This is hard. That's such an amazing album. What was the ballad one? That's probably the only one I don't really like that much. Confused, that's probably the worst thing on there.
I don't like that one.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. Oh. As a attempt at a pop hit. Where is it? Which one's the one that goes do 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 do?
With that mad phone break.
Got to do a sound. Phone break.
No, it's a really bad. It's like a horn on it. That's it. Yeah.
I love that.
2 seconds. I've got it here.
It's not confused. Do.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Step to me? No. Is it step? No.
Yep. Step to me.
It is.
Yep.
That's produced by Showbiz. I mean, God.
What's it called, John?
Step to me. Track 4.
Not Step to Me. Not Tim Dog, but that's definitely up there. I mean, I love all the ones that came out in 12 as well. Yeah. Incredible. Wow,
what's yours, John? What would you pick off there?
Well, I chose that album. I selected Best Kept Secret, didn't I?
Best Kept Secret. I do love that.
That's classic.
I also like that one. I can't remember the names of the songs on them, but they're Can I Get a Pound of Herbs? Because I'm nice with the verb.
Yeah. F what you heard.
Yeah.
He had a bit of obsession with illness in his lyrics, didn't he? Sounds like hotcakes. People have prostate cancer or the liver.
Liver, yeah.
And
that one way is in the pictures as well. There's so many good ones on there, to be honest. Yeah.
I'll just check 1, 2 as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I used to loop that before I heard records of an aunt, one of my dad's sister, who unfortunately passed away really young. So hello to Nick, her son. But I ended up acquiring some of her records. He'll probably want them back now, her son. But there's loads of CBS compilations, from the early 70s, late 60s, and but it had the stop break, the super session break, and I used to loop it, and then that came out. I was like, oh wow! So,
okay then.
I was ahead of the game. I was making stuff in the early 90s.
So yes, in answer to your question that you said before, do I actually like hip hop? Yes, I do, especially when it's stunts, blunts, and hip hop.
Yeah,
I love that album. So yes,
we're on the same wavelength with that one. I mean, what an album!
Without a doubt, love that album.
Do you like the Showbiz album as well? Then
I haven't
Runaway
really heard
Slave.
that much. I don't own it.
Oh,
I like it more than that album now.
do you?
Because I actually revisited it last week,
Yeah.
and I had on repeat for like 2 days.
All
Don't
right,
stop
okay.
my headphones.
A
Loved it.
Represent track. Well,
Yeah, but
The
I also
bass
got the Soul Clap Party Groove EP as well.
Soul Clap. Which
Which
version of it?
It's basically got about 9 tracks on it. 2 seconds.
I thought you were going to get out the record.
No. Yes, the Soul Clap EP. So it's
yeah.
but like it's got Party Groove on it like
Yeah.
twice, and Soul Clap's on twice, but
Different versions.
it's got things like Digging in the Crates,
Oh yeah.
Down in the Mental, It's Up to You,
Oh yeah.
Party Groove's on it, Catch and Wreck. But it's really, really good. I love that EP.
I like Party Groove. It is kind of like it is a kind of almost a big beat record, but
Yeah.
like before big beat existed.
Yeah.
But but they're all influenced by hip hop.
Mm.
The Jungle Guys, yeah. But
Yeah, cool.
how many have I done?
You've done 4. You've got 1 to
Well,
go.
I've only got 1 to go already.
Yeah, but before you do,
Yeah.
let's bring it up to date. You mentioned that you produce, so let's chat a bit about who you're producing for, or who you have produced for.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, crikey, yeah. Well, we did our own stuff, which most of that never came out. Young Gun and Jest they were on a 12. I did called Slumber. I couldn't find it with the picture cover. I've got loads of promos of it. Mr. Complex from New York. Don't you remember him? Did Visualize and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a couple of tracks with him. One called Scrape Your Back Out. Oh, is that one there? Yeah. That's
Cool.
Okay.
There's more P on the A side. I didn't produce that one. My man Steve sent me to produce that. P Love. I think that's down there. What else? Sire and Ken Boogaloo from We Be Foolish.
Who did you say before that, though? Did you say?
Sire.
Okay.
Yeah, he did stuff on Fondle.
Never heard.
Wow, you need the visuals EP. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, because when I worked at Bongo, this indie hip hop era was coming up.
Yeah.
So we were selling loads of stuff like that, and then obviously Raucous came along and stuff like that. But yeah, one of the classics was Sire, who Sire and Yeshua Dapo Ed was the EP. But they used to come in to Mr. Bongo. They did an in-store there, and we recorded some stuff with them. It came out on I did a track that came out on a Fat City compilation. Down there, it might be too low. So I mean, it was on working with him. He's one of my favourite rappers.
Right.
He's now a professor in an Ivy League university in America.
Right.
Yeah. So clever guy. Even though he kept saying he did a freestyle for us in my mate's studio, and he kept saying the River Thames instead of the River Thames.
River Thames.
THA.
All right.
Yeah, so, this guy, he went on to be a Harvard professor. So yeah,
there you go. You can't educate them all.
Yeah, he's a very clever guy. But so I mean, one of the other ones I was going to choose was the Juggernauts, but I couldn't find it. Although I did find it in the end. But do you know that stuff?
No.
I recognise the name, but I've never owned anything by them.
Oh, you need their first thing. It's amazing. I forgot what it's called. I think it's just called the Juggernauts. But they did a thing called Clear Blue Skies, and there's an album they reissued the first thing, which was on Fondle. They reissued it as a double album, and they called it Reissue, I think. So worth checking out. Yeah, like if you can. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. But I don't know. Were you guys into the sort of indie sound of the late?
I like a lot of the rock. I like a lot of the rocker stuff, like High and Mighty and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think it's like in Newcastle, a lot of the indie stuff, there wasn't that much of it about.
Right.
It was mainly like, I wouldn't say mainstream, but it was more stuff like EPMD, Das Effects, Tribe Called Quest, everything like that. Showbiz and AG. But it's like a lot of the underground stuff, not that I was aware of it anyway.
Well, this was a bit later, wasn't it? So
yeah. Mm-hmm. But like I said,
I went to Salford University. Mm-hmm. So I used to go to Bat City in Manchester.
Right.
Yeah, they had a lot of the indie stuff, the indie hip hop stuff. Yeah, they were pretty on it.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that I heard was through buying magazines where you got free samplers on them. So you know,
HHC or something. Yeah.
Connection, and what was it? Was it Underground? Or I always get the name wrong.
Undercover.
Undercover, yes.
Oh, there's a couple of our tracks on there, on those CDs.
I've got some of them on CD down there.
I've got all the CDs with them. So.
Yeah, there'll be I think there's probably that the one with Biz Marquis probably on one of those.
Right.
And maybe the.
So what was your name in the group? What was the group called?
Beyond There.
Beyond There.
Beyond There. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. I'll check that out. I've got a box load of CDs from the Undercover.
Yeah. Right. I used to write reviews actually. I wrote a few reviews for HHC.
Did you?
Yeah, but the editor changed it so much I didn't do anymore.
Right. So you would write a review, then they would edit that review.
Yeah, well, he just totally rewrote my review. I've written for quite a few magazines, and they kind of take the odd mistake out, but yeah.
Yeah, which is fair enough, the mistake, but not the actual, you know, what your emphasis of your story is. What's the point of that?
Yeah, what's the point? I don't know, but
all right.
That's life.
Fair enough.
I can't believe you had legends on like people like Too Tough from Tough Crew and that, and then got chances like me coming on waffling about.
The thing is Too Tough, Blade, Outlaw Posse, Mercury.
Yeah.
Top dudes that they are. They're also hip hop fans, and so are you, and so am I.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to know what hip hop fans think. You know, it's nice to know what some of the rappers or DJs think that are well known.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm also interested in what Mr. and Mrs. Miggins down the street also thinks as well. Hip hop.
They're on next week, are they?
Mrs. Miggins in a pie shop will be on next week. Yes.
Making me hungry. I see you had MCM on there. Big up Mark, top guy. He's a proper record guy, record nut, reggae nut.
We've had Mr. Spice from the Brotherhood on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nate, help us out. Who else? Well, we had K9 on.
Yeah.
Had,
there's been so many now. It's
yeah. How long have you guys been doing this then?
It's almost a year now, isn't it? It'll be
okay. Oh wow.
Nearly. Started about June or something, I think, last year.
Was it? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. It wasn't straight away, John. It wasn't straight away. A bit earlier than that, but it wasn't March. It wasn't like March and April, I don't think.
2 seconds. I'll tell you when the first video was posted.
It was Riddler's video was the first one.
You started because of COVID.
What's that?
The C word. I dropped the C bomb. COVID.
Yeah. Well,
7 months. 7 months.
Is that
7
why you
months
started
ago was Riddler. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first one 7 months ago.
Just for boredom and for our mental health, just to keep us straight. We're locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why we become the Vinyl Vandals in the first place was as friends, is going to gigs together, jumping in our cars and jumping on the train and going to gigs down the country and that, and we couldn't do it. Yeah. So it's just like, you know.
Did you go to that Stetsasonic one?
Jazz Cafe. Yes, we did. We went. We started the booing off, and we left.
I left after 10 minutes.
You came all that way and you left. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I actually had a really good night. It's hilarious. But I saw them in the 80s and they were amazing.
What did you think?
There was only 2 of them.
Yeah, the whole
you
lot was
fooled
there.
by them? Did you believe it was them, or did you? What did you think?
Well, the guys that were there were actually them.
What, two of them or one of them?
Yeah, well, it was the real summer, wasn't it? It was definitely wise.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, yeah. So we come all the way down for that's what I mean. And people didn't understand when we were booing. It's like, hey, we've give up. We've took a holiday from our jobs. We've got a train down here. We paid for a hotel. You know, forget all of that. You know, it was a lot of money we paid. When they were telling you might get your money back on a ticket. It's like, well, are you going to give me a train ticket and my hotel ticket?
Because I heard people would come down from Newcastle. So did you guys, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Respect for doing that. Well, that's, I mean, that's proper dedication, that is.
Yeah, well, we do it all the time. You know, we came down for Run DMC. We've been down for all that gigs, but we'll go to Manchester, we'll go to Leeds, we'll go to Glasgow, we'll go all over the place. But we don't want to pay taking out either. You know what I mean? If you're gonna come, don't take the pay.
Yeah,
it costs a joke. I've got to take a holiday from work to come down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my time's precious. You know, wife and kids as well. You know, so it's like, you know, if you're not with them, you know, then I want to get something for my time when I'm not with them. You know?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, they should be so flattered that people take that effort.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Kevin, go on to you there.
You're from the northeast, so did you used to? Unless I got your accent totally wrong, did you used to go to the filming of the Tube and that in the 80s?
I went to a couple of the Tubes. Yeah, I went about 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Anyone good?
I saw the Tube. I saw Susie and the Banshees.
All right.
I saw the Thompson Twins. I saw Kool and the Gang, who are absolutely mint. So what else did I see there?
No hip hop people.
Never saw hip hop dudes at all. No.
They had a few, didn't they? They had like Mally Mel and people like that.
Yeah, I never ever saw them. You could never get because you had to obviously go and queue.
Right.
You had to go and queue a couple of days beforehand to get a ticket. The queue was always huge. Yeah, the queue was always huge. You had to go and queue for your ticket, get your ticket. I think on the Thursday. It was on the Friday, wasn't it, the Tube?
Yeah.
You had to queue or something on the Wednesday or something before you could go to the actual gig, you know. Yeah.
Jules Holland lived in the same road that RHU72.
All right. Cool. Okay, it's that time. It's your last album pick.
Oh, crikey, we're still doing that, aren't we?
Yes.
It's the album by MC Sped and Micah G.
No, it's not. Summer Holiday.
Right.
There we go.
There you go. It's a shiny one. It's still in its shrink wrap. Much nicer than the picture of the one that I sent you.
So it is UN.
The UN or You Out, which is fantastic use of.
Never, ever, ever heard of this album, ever. Never heard of this group before.
I'm totally shocked.
When you sent it last night, I thought, what? What's that? But I went for a walk early this morning, and you know what was on my you know what was on my Spotify this morning? My Spotify was ablaze with UN, You Not. Is that right? UN, You Not.
Or You Out. UN or You Out.
Oh, You Out, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And did it float your boat?
I thought it was really good. There's not many stuff grabs me by the first listen, something I have to listen a few times, but I was like quite nodding my head to it as I was walking along in the sun this morning.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
I'm from New York. Oh, I can't try and remember where.
Are they Puerto Rican?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Well, one of us Rock Marciano, so
right.
Rocky Mars.
But
I know he's got that proper. It's like if Joe Pesci was a rapper almost, isn't it?
Yeah. I got the distinct impression that some of them, or one of them, I don't know how many's in the group.
All black guys. Yeah.
Are they? Okay. Yeah. Doesn't stop them being Puerto Rican though.
It doesn't. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. Doesn't stop you being a Geordie either. Yeah.
No, doesn't at all. So I just got the flavour of the voice that it just sounded like one of them or some of them were. I need to check out where they're from. But yeah, I never.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's very.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I couldn't even name all the members, which is really bad, isn't it? But,
how many is in the group?
Yeah. Next question.
You don't know.
I'm sure there's 4 of them.
I thought it was 3 or 4, maybe. Yeah.
3, 4. I googled it last night.
Mike Raw, Dino Brave, Rock Marciano. Obviously, Rock Marciano is doing amazingly well now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got all that crowd that love all that Griselda stuff. They love all that. They love his stuff as well. He's kind of gone off having drums on his beats. But it's what I call headphone rap. His stuff he does now. You know, like people that constantly have albums going on and their headphones listening to the lyrics properly. I'm not very good at doing that. I actually listen to probably more other non-hip hop music most of the time. But hip hop's made out of other music. But yeah, this album's it's incredible. I remember it came out the same year as Mad Villainy, so you know, I could have you thinking that it's the best year ever in hip hop. 2004. Took that long.
When did it come out? What year?
2004.
2004. Okay.
I didn't realize who produced some of the tracks on it as well, because you've got Dodge Professor, Pete Rock.
Yeah. I think Alchemist might be on that.
Yeah, Pete Rock's done 3 tracks. Track 4, 8, and 14.
Q-Tip had something to do with it. I don't think he did the beats. But,
right.
Yeah, it's a great album. I absolutely love it. I mean, there's a Pete Rock track, DOA. It's just like,
that's my favorite track.
You can tell it's Pete Rock, but it's so much more rough and rugged than the average Pete Rock track. It's an amazing track, isn't it? I like Get Your Ish. So, did you know this album already, John?
No, I'd never heard of it.
Oh, right, okay.
Totally passed me by. Never.
Because they've actually had a few albums, haven't they? That's like 2 albums, I think.
I don't think so.
Was that the only one?
Yeah, I think that's it.
When I was going through Google, I'm sure they were saying that though, unless it was like an unreleased EP or something like that. But
it might be some emo band called UN or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because that's one thing about Spotify. I use Spotify quite a lot. I love records and that. But,
it's good to check things out, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can download it to my phone and that. But they quite often you're typing a group name and it'll come up with a song by them, the one that you want, and then they have all these other songs by the same artist, but it's a completely different artist. They do it wrong. They get it wrong all the time. Well, I can't believe I'm on Discogs right now. Well, this is shocking, isn't it? It's not professional on my part. I think there's a disco group with you in, yeah. Oh,
so, how many? What's so good about this group then?
It was a kind of return to really rugged, raw beats, and Rock Marciano's rapping is always really good. Like good lyrics, and sometimes some of his more recent stuff I find a bit boring, to be honest. But it was on fire. Just their voices, their kind of raw, rugged voices. Just so a lot of people would say it sounded really old-fashioned in style production, but they were using sort of boom bap production, but in a different way. I think maybe you have to be really into stuff to get the subtleties of it.
It doesn't sound like 2004. It does sound like mid-90s, a little bit later, which is the sound I like anyway. So,
but then you say that, but then you take certain tracks and say, look, was there a track like that in '95?
True, but it's definitely got something which sounds a lot older than it is. So
yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, definitely. The UN's a really annoying group to look up on the internet because they've got. I'll give up in a minute.
Okay. So what's so good about them then?
Not just that, it's just like raw, rugged rhymes, fantastic beats. The album just really works. It just gels together.
How did you discover this group then?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm trying to think. Well, we had a couple of 12 inches in the shop, selling them, and then we had the album in the shop, and it's like, wow, this is really good. I've always checked for Rock Marciano, and there's a couple of unreleased things that came out as that are well worth checking out. Try to remember what they're called.
I didn't realise he was linked to Flipmode Squad as well.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't find that out until. I'd never heard of him before.
Yeah.
Although I had a 12 by Buster Rhymes, which had him on. There's this German record pool record with I've got a large Professor beat on one side and a Jay Dilla track on the other, and called The Heist. You hear that? But there was a track on this 12 that had a Rock Marciano track. But,
okay.
I'd never heard of him before. But,
so what's your favourite song off that album then?
Well, it's probably either DOA or Get Your Ish. So I'm going to go with Get Your Ish.
Okay.
Partly because I can't remember the other name of the other track.
As I've never heard it before, I can't comment and say what's the best track. But I definitely was listening to it and I was thinking, oh, this is all right. This like, how come I've totally missed these? But then if it was 2004, that's probably why, because I'd stopped buying new stuff and I've given up. You know what I mean? So, luckily for you, were in the shop, but otherwise I would have saw it on telly. A lot of my stuff was bought in the earlier days because of like things like UMTV Raps as well. Because I was like, okay. Yeah. I'm getting it because I've heard that. Or
you into any stuff more recently?
I've tried, but I can't. You know.
Yeah.
I've tried to listen to some Kendrick. I thought that's all right, and then all of a sudden, I can't listen to the whole album. It's just like I start getting bored.
Too nasal.
Yeah, then it starts veering towards what I don't like. That new style of rapping that I don't really like. You know that. I don't want to call it mumble, but it's sort of on that mumble level that it starts going towards, and I don't really like that. But
I know what you mean, yeah.
But I've been trying to listen to stuff when I'm going for my walks. I'm thinking, right, I'm going to listen to this album. I'm not going to skip it. I'm just going to listen to it and try and get into it. So I've been listening to Pimp a Butterfly, and I've actually bought it. It's all right. One of Joey Badass's albums, all right.
Yeah, he's one of these people rave about him, but I haven't really been excited by him yet.
No, well, I'm not excited. That's exactly the right words to say. I've listened to some of these albums. I'm like, that's all right, but I'm not obsessed like I am about stuff in the past. You know what I mean? So,
what about Homeboy Sandman? You like
yes,
him?
I saw him live the year before with Edan. Absolutely amazing.
Where did you see him?
At the Clooney in Newcastle.
Oh, right, okay.
So he's actually
that's good.
Yeah.
I probably the same tour I saw him at the Jazz Cafe.
Right, yeah, it would have been about 2 years ago now, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly 3.
Well, so I remember it was about a month before that Stetsasonic gig.
Yes,
I saw him at Jazz Cafe, and that was an amazing gig.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a rubbish gig.
Because he's Homeboy Sandman's got a new album dropping soon as well, I think.
Has he really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I saw something. I think he did on one of his social medias how there's a new track and it's linked to a new album as well. So
okay, I'll have to ask Mike Lewis about that. His record label guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice one.
Oh, yeah, because I know it's been a long time since Edon had a. I could tell you about Edon. I remember we used to, obviously we sold his stuff in Mr. Bongo, and I remember he was a really young guy. He came and hung out with us, and we went in the pub next. There was a pub next to Mr. Bongo, and before the smoking ban, and then he'd be in there. We're drinking pints, and it was like, "Oh God, it's a bit smoky in here. I don't really drink," and he didn't last long. And then he came in a year later, and he was in there like drinking pints, and it was like totally changed from being this kind of It's like shy guy to be in this kind of totally different character. Yeah, it's amazing what a bit of life experience can do to you in a year. Yeah.
Okay, we've come to the end of the show. Have you got any last words?
No. No, thanks. Of course I have. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. Yeah, it's actually a real honour. Yeah, to be thought of to do stuff like this.
You give up your time, so the honour's definitely ours.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that. John, anything to say?
No, just thank you for taking time out to speak to us, and it's been fun. It's nice to hear some different albums. I mean, that UN album, like I said, I've listened to it twice today, and I listened to it once last night. So it's something new for me. So
I thought I had to put one curveball in there, you know.
That's good. That's good. Because one of the things that we've always said about doing this as well is obviously, like you made the joke before, do you actually like hip hop? But it's nice to hear stuff that I can go and sort of like check for, because like you've also just said there at the end, you're asking about do I listen to new stuff? I do try, especially with COVID. I'm not feeling a lot of it, but I can go back and find stuff that I've missed. You know, like the UN there, or even some of the tribe stuff. I'm getting more into it because I've been, you know, like we always talk about this, but when COVID came, the last started. We went into a really warm, like spring and summer. So I spent a lot of time in the garden, like a lot of people did, and I was playing music that because I got neighbours all around here, you can't be playing all your sweary, you know, NWA stuff. So I was playing like stuff that was a bit more mellow and a bit more jazzy, especially to fit in with the weather and that don't swear as much. And it's made us get into stuff that I've sort of like, well, it's all right. And I've sort of listened to stuff that I used to think was, it's okay, it's this, it's that.
Yeah.
I'm not as excited as John is or Riddler is or Julie is about some of the stuff, but I have got into it because of like the sort of like the climate of the times of being in COVID. And it's made us have to like either listen to it in the garden or listen when I've been going for walks, which has been great. And when you throw a curveball and like you've done, it's great for us. And I'm sure hopefully there'll be people like me, it's from there now listening thinking, oh, actually, I've never heard of this group, the UN. I'm going to go and check them out. That's what it's about. Hopefully Discogs goes up and eBay goes up with people trying to buy this stuff as well, you know.
But you check out, I've got the Juggernaut. So you check out the Juggernaut. Oh, yeah.
Again, never check them out.
I'm going to be checking that tonight.
Yeah, it's not very visual, that, is it?
Anyway, we'll check them out. Okay, I'm going to bring it to an end.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for giving me the time. I really
thanks for having me.
It. We are the Vinyl Vandals. You can catch DJ Riddler every Monday night in between 7 and 8 o'clock on a Monday night, like I said, on Method Radio. Boris last week just announced that we are hopefully going to come out of hibernation.
I thought you were going to say Boris announced that when the next Vinyl Vandals show was.
He's definitely not welcome on my show. But he's announced that, which means that now all of a sudden I'm getting, even as I've been sitting here today, now in the last few hour, I've had a few sort of like updates on my phone saying about this festival and that festival. I'm not a festival dude, but festivals means that gigs are coming. Gigs means that I'm going to be on trains and jumping cars and go to gigs again, so I'm over the moon. Can't wait, because that's what I love. Me, John, Julie, and Riddler love doing. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we will be seeing some of you soon around the country when we're jumping in the cars and trains. Peace.
Bye.
See ya.